Hello, my name is Isaac, actually Zahi Shaked A, but Isaac will be easier for you, and we will make a short tour at the Church of the Holy Sepulcher, which is the place that Jesus was crucified, died, and then they purified his body, and then they bury him. There's so many places there, I won't be able to show you in that movie all of them. Some of them are closed, some of them are open. But again, if you want to visit at the church itself, you need at least 5 hours. Then, that matter. Let's start the tour right now, and the next place will be the facade of the church. Well, we are at the facade of the church. That facade and the area around it is mainly from the Crusade time. That church was built at the 4th century by St. Helena, the mother of Constantine. Oh, look at the monks that goes out of the church. Today it's Sunday, and on Sunday there's so many processions. Look how beautiful it is. Then, let's go back to the facade. We're talking about 12th century facade. Although the church was built in the 4th century, if there is something that I can say about the church is that if someone didn't like the Christians, the best way to do is to destroy it. Then almost nothing here is from the time of the 4th century. I must say that the first one who actually tried to delete that place from the map were the Romans itself, the one who crucified Jesus by building church, Roman temple on top of it. But in that place you can find quarry that we believe that was for the temple, the first or maybe the second temple. There's so many layers in that church, it's unbelievable. Two things that you can see here is that door, which is the only door, the only entrance to the church. Then if you don't want to lose someone, that is a very good place, a meeting place. The second part belongs to the Armenian. Those the story of the ladder that you can see right there is a lovely story. True or not, you have to deal with it by yourself. The story tells us that they wanted to clean the windows, the Armenian wanted to clean the windows from the outside, then they took the ladder out. And then the Greek Orthodox came to them and said, who told you that facade is yours? Until they figure out who owns the facade, it will be like the ladder will be there. And I do have some pictures from 1850 that shows you that the ladder was right there. Outside, right here, there are stairs to one of the chapels. That's when they stripped Jesus from his clothes. This is a Catholic procession. Oh yeah, if you talked about that, that church belongs to everyone. For example, this is a Greek Orthodox place, and according to tradition, that tree is when they try to, story of Abraham and Isaac. It's actually my story because I'm Isaac. He almost sacrificed him. On top of that's Mount Moriah, according to the Armenian and the Greek Orthodox. There are so many things that are here. Today, their church is very crowded. Sorry. Then they stay at the queue, stay in the line to the tomb itself. It can take you between 1 hour to 2.5 hours, like yesterday. Let's go in. Let's go into the church from the only entrance, the only exit. It's open, but again, daily from 4 a.m. to 7 p.m., but please check it before you are entering. Of course, the best hours to be here is early morning or late at night. The one who close and open the church are the Muslims, because that church belongs to so many Orthodox Christian orders, and they don't trust each other. Then the key is held by 2 Muslim families. So open the gate and close the gate every night. So the ladder, this is part of the that is for the opening and the closing the gate. Then we are climbing the Calvary, the Golgotha. And let's stop that part, and we will continue when we reach upstairs. It's only one story, but it's very steep. There are 2 rail handles, you can use it. When I'm climbing the Calvary, it is very cloudy today. In that area you can see, in a way, 2 chapels. One of the Catholic, which is right here, The other one belongs to the Greek Orthodox. Yeah, I know it sounds so weird because your churches are different than that, but that is the most important church in the world. And in that case, everyone wants a little bit part of it. What we can see here. That church been destroyed for the last time at 1808. This time by the Christians themselves, it was burned down. Then most of the mosaics that you see here is new. The only one who actually old 12th century, not old 4th century, is that mosaic of Jesus as the ruler of the world. This is the chapel that you saw from the outside. That's why they stripped Jesus found his clothes. In that Catholic part, you can find another station of the Via della Rosa. For example, this is where they crucified him, they nailed him to the cross. That altar is from the Medici family, Italy. This is the most expensive item in their church. After he died, and still we didn't see the crucifixion, look at that cabin, right there. You might see Mary with a spear in her heart. When Mary was at the temple, the presentation at the temple, Saint Simon told her that the son will die in front of her eyes, and it will be like a spear will enter to her heart. And in that case, that's, now we can see better. Let's see. All right, here it is. That's where. Let's go to the most important place in that area, and that is already at the Greek Orthodox side. That's where they crucified Jesus. This is the crucifixion place. Right here you can see Jesus on top of the cross. It's very difficult to see it from here. You can see the sinless Jesus from Nazareth, King of the Jews. Let me see if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. To the right you can see John. To the left you can see Mary. While Jesus was on the cross, he asked John to take care of his mother. That rock is actually part of the Golgotha. That's why we climb on top of it. According to tradition, it was crucified on top of it, although the Bible never mentioned it. What the people are doing? This is the only place to touch the bedrock of the Golgotha. Then they are reaching the hands and put it in there and blessing themselves by that. Again, Greek Orthodox Chapel and Catholic Chapel. The way out is not the same. And let me show you where is the way out. The way down. Let's continue with the tour. And here it is. This is the way down. I will wait for you down there. And see you, but we are already there. Remember, that is where he is. And that wall is new. But the mosaic wall is amazing. It actually tells you the story of the church. Then, what we did is, we've been at the Golgotha. Look at the skull, right there. We will actually go into the chapel later on, which is where the two people are standing. And we will talk about it, but that's later on. Then after they crucified and he died, as a Jew, they had to purify his body, because that's what the Jews are doing until today. And it's not to powder him, no makeup, because the family wants him anymore. They will put him in a shroud, and then they will bury him in a cave that Joseph of Arimathea gave to him. Now, where is that table? That table is right here. For me, you see the entrance, and you can understand where it is, or the exit, which is the same. For me, this is one of the most, if not the most important place, because if the naked body of Jesus touched that area, it means that that place has been blessed. You can see that so many people are bringing things from home, or buying so many things, and they will put it there and to bless it, because let's face it, the cross that you can buy everywhere, but the cross that we blessed on that stone is something totally different. Amazing, isn't it? And let's continue, because from here we can see the Armenian Chapel. When the Armenians are here, you can see the Holy Fire. If you're Greek Orthodox, you can understand what it is, but the Holy Fire, if you're not, the Holy Fire is actually an Easter time God, Jesus sent it to us through sky, and then we are lighting the candles all here through that, and bring the candles with you and bless it. Some people actually taking the candle with them. That is where the three Miriams, according to the Armenians, watch the crucifixion. And that is from the Armenian place we actually entering to see the tomb himself. Then let's talk about the tomb in about a minute. We'll see you in the next part of the movie. Now, this is the church. In a way, the most important part for every Christian. That's why you can see the line that here goes all the way around. This is the tomb of Jesus. Now, it wasn't like that. We already know that it was a cave, but that church has been destroyed so many times. Remember, if someone didn't like the Christians, the best place to do is to destroy it. Then that site been destroyed so many times, and the site itself is from 1808, actually after that. And you renovated it lately. It took them 200 years to agree to do that, and here it is, already been done. If you've been here years ago, then you remember that there were so many metal things that held it from falling apart, and it was so black. Then here it is. You can see the big rotunda, the big dome above us. You will see the other one. So then the tomb himself divided into two. The first part, where the people are entering, you see a little bit of the holy fire, the light of the holy fire. That's where the angels took care that no one will steal the body of Christ. The inner part is the tomb himself, and when they opened it in 2017, because they renovated, they found out that nothing is there, because he was risen. And we are Sunday, he might come to us right now. Behind us, there is a beautiful Greek Orthodox church. When that family will go, I will try to explain a little bit about it, and let's wait for the next part of the movie. Behind me is the tomb of Jesus, and here you can see the second dome, the smallest one, and from the outside you can see the R2. This is the Greek Orthodox Church. Yeah, from time to time it's open, then you can go in. I'm not going into to talk about what is a Greek Orthodox Church and what's the differences, because that is not for that movie. But the most important thing is behind that chair table, it's a round thing. This is according to tradition, and now you can see it better, the center of the word. Then in that matter, if you go there, make a round tour around the center of the word. Mark Twain was here too, and when he wrote his book in the 19th century, he actually mentioned that the center of the word was more to there, but because the word is shrinking, it actually moves to here. Then the Greek Orthodox Church, let's continue to make a round tour around the church itself, and that's going to be for next. See, that's where the tomb is next. So many things to show you around the tomb himself. First of all, that is a chapel, Catholic chapel, and you can see now Mass right there, Red Sunday. Indoor, that door, there's another part there, and there's another Mass there, again Sunday Mass. You can see the organ here, and that's where Mary met Jesus on Sunday. You can see here. When she came to the tomb, she saw that it's empty. Then she came to here, and she started to look for a master. And then she found a gardener, and that's the gardener that was Jesus himself. Let's continue with that. You can see the line. And 2 weeks ago it was so empty. Now it's very crowded. And take it part of your tour. Then if you want to stand in a line, it can take you 2.5 hours. We're entering to one chapel here around it because that is the only one that opened for us, and it's very important. Then let's go to Joseph of Arimathea. That place belongs to the Syrianic church, and because it's Sunday, you can see that there is there was a procession, a mass there. Usually it's without that decoration. And why the room looks like that? I mean, it doesn't look like the $1 million room. Mainly because they're still fighting between themselves. Who owns that place? Is that owned by the Syrianic church or by the Armenian? Until they figure out, there are some problems. The most important thing in that place is the cave. Those two entered to two caves. This is a Jewish cave from the time of Jesus. And it actually shows us that that area was a cemetery. In that cave you can see niches where they used to put the body of the dead after they purified it for 2 or 3 years, and then they took the body out and put the bones in a special ossuary. Then they could bury someone else. Now, if Jesus' tomb is there, just behind that wall, and we saw it, then whose tomb is that? That, as we believe, is the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. Then why Joseph of Arimathea? We know that he gave his tomb to Jesus, which is outside. Then, if that is his garden, he wanted to build himself another tomb. And he gave Jesus a tomb that no one used before. Then you can understand the meaning of no one used before, because usually Jewish tombs are being used so many times. Then, in that matter, Joseph of Arimathea, if that was his garden, then he wanted to bury himself very close to his master, and this is his own garden. And in that case, the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea, according to tradition, is here. Let's go out and let's make a round tour around the church, but inside the church. See, we are back at the tomb. And you will recognize where to go in if you want to see Joseph of Arimathea. The church is still being renovated, and you can see that from time to time, they're close part of it. Why the people are here? Because of mostly one reason. This is the only toilet in that area. And it took them like 10 years to build that toilet. Actually, not to build, to agree to build it. They built it in less than 10 years. Mainly because it's owned by everyone. Think about your kitchen, if that is a kitchen of yours or any other family who will stay in your kitchen, but they actually have different beliefs. I'm talking about, of course, the church, not about the kitchen, but you can understand that according to the Greek Orthodox or to the Eastern Church, that Eastern sits and not Western sits, then a lot of problems. Then when you're going in, maybe or Eastern or Western toilet. The Greek Orthodox are renovated that place more than at least 7 or 8 years. This is kind of the prison of Christ. One day it will be open. I don't know when, but I must tell you that it took too long, and it was a beautiful place before. To understand that the idea is that before they crucified him, he was in the tomb itself. You can see there are so many architecture style here, so many different columns from different times that shows you that their church has been destroyed so many times. Then, behind that wall is the Greek Orthodox Church that we saw before, and we're actually making a round tour around it. And there are so many chapels. For example, here, this is the Greek Orthodox Chapel. And let's continue. Just with that group. Now you can see another Armenian Chapel. And before we will go in, before we go down, I want you to see that there is an entrance. That's going to be the next stage, where we are going to visit the Armenian Chapel, St. Helen Chapel, and the place that they found the cross itself. This is to be the next. Wait for me. Now, when we are going down, you must understand there are a lot of stairs. Then if you cannot do that, if it's difficult for you, then you don't have to do that. On the way, you'll see a lot of graffiti on the wall. So many crosses on the wall. And when you are going down in history as well. Then we are going to, in a way, to the most ancient part of the church, the quarry that we believe that used for the temple. Then this is St. Helen Church lately, and we are talking about the end of 2017. They've renovated it. You can see in that area 9 cities that have been destroyed by Ottomans, Turks of today. Study about the genocide that the Turks actually did. 1.5 million Armenians been butchered by them. It's very important to know that it's happened there. And you can see one of the chapel. If you will climb up to the Dir El Sultan, which is the Coptic roof, today we cannot do that, they close it for a few months, then you will see the dome at that plaza. From that door, and I must say that it will be only few people will go in, you can actually go again to the quarry, but you will see a beautiful boat, painting over boat, and the sentence, "We came to visit you, Lord," which might be from the 2nd century. Then if we're talking about 2nd century, that church was a Roman temple. Then maybe 2 disciples came with a boat to here, and they actually mentioned that in that place secretly, that they came to visit Jesus. If that is true, this is the most ancient evidence of the existence of the church before all the crucifixion place, the tomb of Jesus, and the resurrection part. Then that chapel, which is an amazing chapel, and so many stories about it, but I'm not going into it. And the stairs there, then let's use it if you want to go to see where they found the 3 crosses of Jesus. Then, no, let's keep it like that. We will go together. It's not something like 20 stairs. It's not something to roam on about. Again, you can see upstairs, but be careful when you do it, when you're walking. I'm using the right handle. And you can see the bucket holes. Because after they use it as a quarry, they actually use everything that they could for kind of water system. And you can see the plaster that cover the water system. And because there's there's only one spring at Jerusalem, then it was very important to see, to turn them into water system. St. Helen is here with a cross, and when she came to here, I mean, I'm not sure that she actually thought that, all right, I'll build a church here. She went through traditions. Then they took her to that place, and according to the story, that's where she found the 3 crosses. She took a sick woman, and one cross touched her, nothing happened. Second cross touched her, nothing happened. Third cross, which was Jesus' cross, cured her. Then in that case, such an amazing place. We found here fresco of Jesus. I'm not sure if it's from Crusader time before. Then in that matter, I'm afraid to talk about it. But it's still ancient. We found a lot of crosses lately. Then they cover it. For example, here they cover it with kind of glass, because it's quite ancient, it's quite important. Yes, now we have to go all the way up. We're using the first stairs here, and then the second stairs will bring us to the level of the church, the today level of church, but you can understand that this is the most ancient part of the church. Then I will spare you from that climbing. We'll see you later on. You can hear it. It's 12 o'clock and bells after the churches are ringing. It tells us that he was crucified right now. Then that's where we enter to see where they found the cross of Jesus, and just for the fun. That part belongs to the Armenian. From here, it belongs to the Greek Orthodox, and the floor is actually washed by that part by the Armenian, that part by the Greek Orthodox, you can understand that from time to time they are fighting because someone claimed an inch of a different order. In that place, according to tradition, and this is a Greek Orthodox tradition in that church, there is another Catholic place that tells you the same story, and an Armenian story. Then when he was sitting here on that pillar before they were crucified him, then beautiful small chapel. It's open. If it's open, you can go in, of course, and pray. We'll continue straight, and we talked about the skull that we saw in the mosaic. That the mosaic wall is right here, right there to the right. But here you can see, you can see part of the Calvary. And now remember that I told you that two people were standing here. I told you that we're going to see it later on. And this is the Chapel of Adam. That's where they took care that no one will steal. This is the Chapel of Adam. Adam, the first man ever. First of all, you can see here the bedrock. 3 o'clock. He will die. Then that area, as you can see, will. You can actually find. You can. Oh, right there. I cannot talk because there's a Russian tour guide. I'm listening to her. At 3 o'clock, the earth will shake, and you can see part of the creek here. According to the Bible, a lot of people resurrect from the dead. According to tradition, one of them was Adam, from Adam and Eve. Then this is the Chapel of Adam, just from the 14th century. Then actually there's more than the 12th century evidence here, but it's very difficult to find more ancient than that. Next to here, this is a beautiful Greek Orthodox chapel, and you can actually go in. If they will let you, and turn left, you can see part of the original cross. Again, from time to time they are letting you, from time to time they're not. It all depends on so many other things. Now, when we go out from Adam Chapel, you can actually will recognize now the place. That's where they purify the body of Christ. And down the stairs to the Golgotha. The tomb, as you can understand, is that way. And this is the only exit from the church. Now you know everything about the church. No, sorry, not everything about the church, but now you know much more about the church, and you can actually try to do it by yourself. But it's not instead of a tour guide. Jerusalem is such an important city and so many things to see here. Without a tour guide is just to visit the sites without understanding them. And I think through that movie you can understand how important it is to use a tour guide. Then see you next. Bye-bye.